Good morning. It's Pastor Sandy coming to you with a time of refreshing. And the question I wanted to ask today is, where's my joy? You know, and all of us, I know, ask that at different times of our lives. Sometimes we feel like we've lost our joy, or things have came and we feel like they've stolen our joy, or they come to rob our peace and our joy. You know, in America right now, joy is at an all-time low and depression is at an all-time high. So I know you're probably asking that question, well, how do I get my joy back? Because see, if we're not careful, we will let all of the things of life and the circumstances dictate our joy and our peace. So we have to come to that place where we stop looking at the circumstances, we stop looking at what's happening, what men are saying, what the news is saying, what the circumstances are saying, and we have to come back to that place of trusting God. See, because if we're not careful, then we'll get up every day with that spirit of complaining, murmuring, worrying, and fretting. And I'll tell you, those are some of the biggest joy stealers ever designed for us to steal our joy and our peace. You know, we've got to come to that place where, sure, I'm not saying that the negativity and the circumstances are not real, but we've got to remember who is realer and who's bigger than all of that, and that is God. We got to come back to that place of trusting Him, spending time with Him. Because if not, if we keep feeding those negative thoughts, if we keep feeding those complaining thoughts, then we will come into a place of depression, or you get into the place of hopelessness. And then the next thing you know, now you're saying, well, am I ever going to get out of this? Is this ever going to be any different? Is it always going to be like this? Or you begin telling yourself, well, don't expect anything different. Don't expect anything better, because it is what it is. No. All things are subject to change except for the Word of God. God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. God doesn't change. But now we have to change on the inside. See, when you spend time with God, now we're going to begin to be able to start allowing Him to change our thoughts on the inside, our feelings and our emotions, to where we see what's happening, we see maybe what's being said, but we say, well, but God is my source. God will deliver me. God is my provider. God is Jehovah Jireh. God will change things. We need to start saying, you know what? God is going to make a way where there seems to be a way. We need to start saying, God, help me to see what you see, to believe your word over everything else. I'm going to stand in faith. I'm going to feed faith and not fear. I'm going to feed my faith and not negativity. I'm going to feed my joy and not depression. I'm not going to come to that place of being overwhelmed. You know, God is doing a great work in all of us, but we're going to have to receive it. We're going to have to come to that place of trust, that we trust God no matter what, because He's the one that makes you victorious. He's the one that will be able to replace that joy with depression, that He can replace happiness and joy that the world cannot give you. No matter what you do or where you go, you cannot have this peace and this joy that only comes from God. And that's what people are looking for. And as you begin to go give joy and hope away, guess what? You'll begin to get filled with joy and hope. It's time to put our trust wholeheartedly in God, no matter what is happening right now. Because real joy and real peace and real comfort only comes from Him. We got to get at His feet, and we got to say, God, change me. Change what I see. Change what I'm feeling. Change me, God, so that when I go through this, I'm going to come out on the other side better. I'm going to come out on the other side stronger. I'm going to come out victorious because you're the one. You are my sole provider. I'm going to be full of joy and full of hope and full of peace. I'm going to look to him and not to what's going on around me or to people, because those things change, but God never does. I'm going to trust God like never before, because you know why? He's my deliverer. He's my friend. He's my healer. He's my provider. He's my way maker. He is the peace giver. God brings a joy that passes all understanding, and the joy of the Lord is your strength. And I know about you, but I need some of his strength. I need his joy and his peace and his comfort today. You know, he's got you. He's always for us. He's never against us. Just reach out to him today and receive what God is saying. Let him be your joy. Let him be your victor. Begin to declare today that, God, I am victorious in you, and no matter what, God, I will have the joy of the Lord. Father, I thank you right now for touching everyone that's under the sound of my voice. And God, I just speak against depression. I just speak against care and worry that has come over upon your people this day. And I declare the joy of the Lord being released over your people right now. That, God, let the joy be ignited in our lives again, Father. That we'll put our trust in you. That we come to your feet. And God, you just fill us with your joy. Fill us with your hope. And God, remind us that where we are is not where we're staying. That, God, you're taking us in to greater and better things. And I thank you for it right now in Jesus' precious name. And until next time, keep it simple, my sisters, and I bless my brothers.